Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to the Animage Podcast, episode 7. We are going to talk about Utaite, and stuff.
And stuff.
And stuff.
I'm Ewik. I like Utaite.
Yeah, I'm Erica. I also like Utaite. It was a couple of years ago, but I still like them. So
I'm like accidentally into Utaite. I'm more of a Vocaloid person, but because of that, I've listened to a lot of Utaite. Thanks, YouTube.
Yeah, my name is Willow, and I'm into general J-pop, but Utaite are very cool as well.
Okay, so what is like everyone's like Utaite origin story?
Good question. It's been so long. Like, when did Utaite first start becoming like a thing? Is a real question.
Like when Vocaloid became a thing, basically.
See, yeah, so it's like really hard to know. Oh, I have a question. Like, when it comes to Utaite, why is it like, does that still encompass like English singing people? Like people who do like English covers and stuff?
I mean, they're mostly called Utaite. Like
Utaite.
Because it used to be that they're all on YouTube and Utaite are all on niconico, but that's
that's
not
what
the case anymore.
Yeah.
I see.
But I think they're still called Utaite because I go on Twitter and I see like all the like Utaite community stuff because I'm like I'm not part of the community, but like I follow some Utaite, so.
I got into the community when Utaites like just weren't a thing at all. Like I was like in when niconico was like huge.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not familiar with any Utaite or the culture.
A lot of people like kind of cross pollinate, I think.
Yeah.
So you must have gotten into it in like 20.
Like super early.
Like 11 or something.
Yeah.
Or,
Around
yeah.
that time.
And
cool.
You were Lex. You were around in like the very beginning, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Dang, you guys are crazy.
Yeah,
You guys are crazy.
Yeah.
All right.
Weeb veterans.
No, most
we
people.
veterans.
Most people are not. Yeah, I think I know a lot of people who got into it in the last like 4 years.
That's about right for me. I think. Well, I was listening. I was into anime for a long time, but like I only started listening to J-pop like maybe at the beginning or endish of my middle school years. That was when I started like actually collecting songs into a playlist because I was like, oh, these actually bang, they're really good. But then I think I was in class with one of my friends, and then she was looking through my playlist and she was like, wow, you have a lot of songs from Mafu Mafu. Don't you like Mafu Mafu? And I'm like, who's that? And then she was like, you should check out his YouTube channel. And then that's how I fell into the hole. So it's thanks to her, and I always joke about how it's her fault that I fell into Utaite. But yeah, I think I got into it around then, so a little bit later than you guys. So unfortunately, I don't have the depth of knowledge that you guys have.
What
Yeah.
year was that?
Sophomore year for me, and I'm a freshman, so maybe like 3 to 4 years ago. It's not very
Okay.
long.
Very
Cool.
recent, yeah.
So actually, I'm like the newest like Utaite convert.
Oh, but
Actually.
you're like
But
like
you know
in
the
it.
most.
Because
Like,
we
you're in
didn't even
deep.
know that we were listening to certain
Uh,
people.
Yeah.
So like in fall 2019, I was like listening to a bunch of Vocaloids. No, wait. Actually, no. I got into Utaite and Vocaloid at like the same time. I got into Utaite like one day before, and then discovered Vocaloid. So I think I was just like listening to Weeb music, as I had done for a long time, but I only knew like anime stuff. And not sure, but somehow I think YouTube recommended me Mafu's cover of
Yeah.
Hated by Life Itself. Because
I
it's, like,
remember
It's good.
there was a time where like I noticed Utaite were being recommended more often than like Vocaloid, like original Vocaloid songs. I was like, oh. I
Oh
don't know
yeah,
when
that's
that
like a
was,
thing
though.
now.
Yeah.
I think it's like because like Utaite have gotten so popular, it's ridiculous, and like people like listening to human voices more than Vocaloid. So it's like surpassed.
I don't know. I'm such a Vocaloid person. Like, I mean, I always listen to Vocaloid, but like, I'm like a huge fan of like the Bad End Night series.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's just something about like the Vocaloids that it just doesn't sound the same when humans sing it.
I think
Oh, yeah.
especially with like those OG, like the OG era, like those
Right.
were meant to
Yeah.
sound so
Yeah.
mechanical.
Yeah.
I feel that. I remember like when I was in elementary school, and that same friend who got me into Mafu Mafu showed me Electric Angel and Triple Baka
Aw.
back in second grade, and I was
Aw,
like,
yeah.
"Well, that's not a person. That's crazy!" And I was like popping off. But then like, yeah, now the Utaites are big, and Vocaloids are also like a big topic, and I'm like, that's crazy. It's been so many years. I don't know.
I know. I still really want to know, like, if you can remember the first Utaite you listened to.
First Utaite I listened to, it was probably Glutamin, I would say.
I don't remember who that is.
Glutamin, he has a lot of famous covers.
Oh, yeah,
um,
yeah.
Six-
Fireflower was.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Panda Hero, I don't know if you know that song.
And he screams
Yeah.
a lot.
He screams a lot.
What was that one cover where he's just like screaming his head off and it was funny? Well, that's probably a lot of them.
Oh, there's a lot of them. The one where he was just being really stupid was the cover of My Railgun.
Oh yeah, that's his most famous.
Yeah, that's
one,
his
too.
most
Yeah,
famous.
and he's just like he made up lyrics, like parody lyrics or something, right? Didn't
Yeah, he did. He didn't know the lyrics, so he just kind of like
Nice.
screamed throughout the entire thing. There's a
Valid.
proper version, and there's like a kind of like
The
you know,
meme.
That's
the
cool.
trashy version.
Do you think that's kind of like, was that like a common practice of Utaite?
I think Glutamin was actually like the only one who just kind of screamed for fun.
I think a lot. Well, like
Well, no, that's wrong. There's others.
yeah.
Like Underbar, you know Underbar?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, like
Hmm.
there's Utaitas like Underbar who just are meant to be funny. They don't sing seriously.
Yeah, that used to be a bigger thing. I think.
Yeah,
like,
that
based,
used to be a lot bigger.
based on like my research, because like after I discovered like Utaite and Vocaloid, since like I'm a musician, like I go super deep into anything that I get into, and so I just went on Utaite wiki and just like looked at everything I could find and like
God.
downloaded shit tons of fuck. And so I looked through all the old stuff too, because I want to see how music and culture evolves, because that's one of my favorite like interests, like to see how stuff evolves over time. And like one of the things like in the early like Utaite like community is like it was way less like, well, it's still not serious, but it had a completely different flavor. Like there was more just like fucking around.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
It was way less polished. You could say that about Vocaloid too.
Mm-hmm.
Because like everything is super polished now, but like back then it wasn't.
You should listen to the mass cover of Spinal Fluid Explosion Girl,
Yeah.
where I feel like there were like 13 Utaitas
Oh,
singing
yeah.
at
That
once.
sounds awesome.
And you just did not like, you could not understand what they were talking
Oh.
about.
Is it a
Yeah.
niconico chorus?
I think so. It was like the new chorus.
I think those aren't like, those are like fan made.
Yeah, they like take a bunch together. But there was one where they were like, they seemed to be interacting with each other in the video.
That's cool.
There was like
That's
conversations
cool.
going on in the middle, like during like the Spinal Fluid Explosion Girl, where nothing's going on and they just call each other.
Oh my god,
Wait,
that's
so like
cool.
during
Yeah.
the instrumental, you know, Nico chorus, I just remembered that like actually maybe my first introduction to Utaite might have been through Kagero Project songs.
Right.
And there was a Nico chorus of Children record, and I was unaware that those were Utaite, but I was like, oh, this slaps.
Cool.
So,
That's really
yeah.
cool. I didn't even know what a Nico chorus was. It's interesting.
I mean, Kagero Project is like really huge as well.
Yeah.
I feel like Kagero Project songs are all. I like all Kagero Project
I like
songs.
all of them. They're all good. Yeah.
Yeah, that was like, yeah, Kage Pro was really cool, and I really like Jean's like composition and like guitar style and stuff. And it used to be that like Utaite would like Mafu Mafu, I think, covered almost all of them or something like that. That used to be really big, yeah. People don't really cover that anymore. Well, it's like 10 years old. But
I'm gonna be honest, that was like when I like fell off. I was like, I don't actually like this too much.
Oh, really?
Dang.
I was like still stuck in the I really liked the kind of storylines that were in like OG music, like
Servant of Evil series, or
yeah, like those. I feel like Kagura was like a new era, and I was like, I still want more of this one.
I get that.
Kagura like has a storyline though.
It does, but I didn't like it.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what it was, but I mean, still good.
Vocaloid now doesn't really have storylines.
Yeah, that's weird to me.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I don't even know if this counts as Utaite, but like, have you ever heard of the Milgram Project?
Yeah.
I've been listening to that. It's like a series made by Deco27.
Yeah.
And then
Vocaloid.
yeah, there's like a whole bunch of singers that sing each one of their songs, and basically it's a thing where they cover a song, and then they ask all the viewers to vote the character in the story, whether you forgive them or not, because each of the characters killed someone in some way. And then the song is like the song is like a very obscure telling of like what they did and how they feel about it, and then the viewers are asked to vote, and every album is like a whole new iteration of all the characters, and you get to know them more with each song.
That sounds awesome. I
actually only watched like the first two. I should catch up on it.
I did not watch it.
I like them, but like I'm just in a state of constant like, oh, I have 6 terabytes of music to get through. So like I have too much to listen to.
Damn.
Yeah. Well, like I don't know, like I think we should talk about like what counts as like Utaite. That's like a debate, but like there's a thing that happens in like maybe around like 2017. So like a lot of early Utaite, like well, first of all, tons of early Utaite like Yanagi Nagi and like forgot her name. The person who sings the like Kill la Kill opening and a bunch of other Utaite. They're not Utaite, but they're like anime singers that like everyone knows. But they're former Utaite from like back in the day. Like Yanagi Nagi is one of the most like well-known anime singers and like one of my favorite singers. And she was in Utaite called Gazelle, like 12 years ago. So like there's this sort of thing that happens with like niconico culture where people like graduate, and that's how it used to be. People stopped being Utaite when they graduated and they got signed. So people, like the definition of Utaite used to be when you get signed, you stop being an Utaite. But like now, I think it was like Mafu Mafu that really pioneered like the, even Mafu Mafu says like he's not a full-time Utaite because he is signed. Obviously, he's like way too famous now. He's making hits and stuff for like TV shows and whatever. But like he's still like an Utaite. So I think like the definition of Utaite has changed and it's sort of like evolved into like
the
I don't know.
like singing style maybe.
Yeah, definitely. And also just like
The
kind
song-
of anyone who just makes covers is now
Yeah.
an Utaite.
See, that's my like. Yeah, because like when you look at the Utaite wiki, I think they say it's like, oh, it's supposed to be Nico Nico Daga.
Yeah,
But
that wiki is really old school though.
Well, I'm old school, so for me, like anyone that counted as Utaite was just people that sang on Nikoniko Doga. So, like, I don't know. Nowadays it's different though, because a lot of Utaites that I used to know on like Nikoniko are like on YouTube now. They have their own channels and they're just doing their own thing. So I guess like the boundaries kind of blurred.
even
in
for
a
people who are
sense.
old school,
Yeah.
interesting.
It's
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's like really a mixing pot now. Like there, of course now there's YouTube, and like now it's not even limited to singing. Like you can do other things like stream. Like Mafu's a VTuber now.
Yeah,
like,
gaming streams and stuff.
and it's like, I don't know. I mean, it's fine in my. Maybe it's just because I got into it later and I'm just like used to how it is now. But like I'm just like whatever, man. They're making content. People like the content. Whatever. Like,
I have a question. So like Utaite is like uta and like ite.
Utaite.
Like,
Well, it come.
Utatte mita is the like when they started posting their videos on niconico, they would always say the title of the song "Utaite mita," which means I sang it, like I tried singing it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
All is mita is like see, so I'll sing and see. I'll try it out and see. I'll try singing and see what happens.
Oh, that's interesting. I never thought to think about that.
And then utaite is like utai, the e stem of sing, and then connected to te, which is hand, so like person who does singing, right? And then like there's utaite, then there's kashu is
Kashu?
like without the e in it. Sorry, we're going to like Japanese, but like that's another word for singing. And I know in Chinese it's gusho, and it's whatever the
Kashu is kashu just means singer.
Yeah.
In general, utaite is utaite is so.
Yeah, so it's like it's a difference, like.
I see. Because, like, usually, like, utaite, like, probably aren't classically trained like a professional singer is.
Yeah, I feel like kashu is much more professional in how it's used, as far as I know.
Which is interesting, because I noticed you're kind of like, because, like, utaite obviously do some crazy-ass shit with their voices. Yeah. So, I don't know, like, how much people think about that.
What do you mean?
Like, singing styles, comparing professional singers with utaite.
Well, utaite are better. No, like, well, what are we gonna talk about, like, J-pop singers and whatever? I would say utaite can potentially, well, depends on which ones, but like utaite, like Mafu talked about Vocaloid songs not being made for humans, so a lot of them are actually really hard. For example, like Unknown Mother Goose is technically like extremely challenging. It has like Miyashita Yu's cover, like for example, is ridiculously like a technical masterpiece. He has 2 octave jumps. He said that he took it in he took that part in 1 take.
No way.
So he has 2 octave jumps. He has ridiculously like fast parts, like the part that's like
that part.
There's some crazy technical stuff in there.
Yeah.
And then I also remember Mafu singing what is that song? You know that
I'm not remembering it.
Sweet Milk something.
Sonic. Milk Crowns?
Milk Crown, yeah.
Milk Crown Sonic.
So that one, like, part of that reminds me of like a classical etude. There's this part which just sounds like a classical etude, and Mafu is singing it like extremely high as usual. So I'm like, I mean, like, he has classical chops, I guess. he has enough like technique to sing that pretty hard passage. So I think like Vocaloid music being hard has like trained Utaite to like be actually really technically accomplished, at least some of them.
I think like the difference between, like, if you go back to the kashu and Utaite and boundary though, like technically I feel like Utaites might be like sometimes better in just simple terms of singing than just normal kashu, but kashu like kind of like has the components of performance and actually appearing in front of people.
Interesting.
And doing stages and whatnot, while Utaites remain on that media platform kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
So I feel like that would be like a major difference, because Utaites don't really like come on stage unless they're like, really popular.
Yeah.
So that would just be like the professional difference, I would call.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, what I have to say of like the very limited kind of singing training that I've had, it's like classical singing is really like you want to show like your genuine voice, like you don't want to strain this, right? You don't want to strain and like do too much of like falsetto. But with Utaite, it's like that's the focus. It's like straining yourself to like go to, I don't know how they do it, honestly. But to me, it sometimes sounds like they're trying to get that like strained tone sometimes, which is like really different from what you want with classical singing. Yeah. Don't know.
I mean, I don't think like J-pop singers are mostly classically trained, right? I doubt it.
See, I really want to know how they train people to sing in Japanese in general. Like, if there is
Yeah.
a standard at all.
I wish I knew. I was looking at grad school applications, and I was looking at Senzo Bugakuen, and they have this undergrad anisong, which is anime songs, program for like singing, singing like anime stuff, and also voice acting and stuff at this music school. Pretty cool, but I don't know what they do there. I just like that was just a random
Yeah, that's
thing.
interesting that it's like separate.
I mean, honestly, I think just singing wise, rather than J-pop, it might be better to look at J-rock instead. Like, there's a lot more J-rock bands that just sound better in general than normal J-pop. Because J-pop, I mean,
What's the difference?
if you look at J-pop, I guess there's a lot of idols. One
Oh,
thing,
yeah.
Arashi, AKB48.
Oh,
those are all,
okay, yeah.
those are all
that kind of stuff.
J-pop stuff.
That stuff is not really popular, like with Western needs. Though.
It's not. It's huge in Asia though.
Yeah.
Like Arashi was pretty damn huge
Yeah.
in
Okay, so
Asia.
yeah, I
Yeah.
tried listening to that kind of stuff. Arashi and AKB48.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of sucked.
Yeah, while yeah, and like J-rock is like Hiedan, One Ok Rock.
Oh,
Yoasobi, like not Yoasobi.
Well,
yeah.
Yoasobi is like
Yoasobi's
J-pop.
like It's like I'd say that's more J-pop.
Alt?
I'm trying to think. Sire. That's stuff.
Yeah, okay. Well,
yeah.
they're like good.
Yeah.
So, but like, there's like J-pop, like anime song J-pop,
Yeah, that's.
and like
Well,
a
you
lot of
can't really
them
say
are
that for
different,
all of
too.
them though, because a lot of bands do anime songs as well, and they're not.
Yeah, but what about like I don't know, like Nagi, Nagi or something. That's J-pop. That's definitely not J-rock.
I feel like for anime songs, you can just like kind of like.
It's its own
define it.
genre.
Yeah, it's its own genre. Like so.
Yeah, in Japan they
Yeah.
separate the genres into anisong and
Yeah.
J-pop.
Yeah. Nowadays, there's more singer-songwriters as well. I feel like there's like more people who are not really pop, but they're not really rock either.
Like,
Ocean again is kind of in between.
Oh yeah, the guy who wrote Koi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not really pop. He's not really rock either.
What is? I mean, like I have a really expansive definition of pop. It's just whatever's popular.
I think for pop, because I listen to K-pop, I generally associate like similar kind of themes.
Oh.
Because K-pop is basically based off J-pop.
Is it?
It is. If you go back to the roots of, I mean, we shouldn't be talking about this, but
that's fine.
yeah, if you go back to the roots of K-pop, then most of it is actually a rip-off of J-pop.
That's interesting.
And I can say that with confidence because I'm Korean.
Ah.
So I'm not
Say that
criticizing.
with like the early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So early K-pop is basically just copied off from the whole J-pop system of
So
idols.
from when, like 80s or something?
No.
That's like that'll be early '90s,
Mm.
I believe. I know some like the really early first generation Korean pop, like SES. I don't think anyone knows, but yeah, they're basically copied off the
Oh
Japanese
yeah.
idol system.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Oh, you know. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna say I don't like K-pop, but I also don't like Japanese idol stuff either. So I guess that's fair. So if it's just like another branch of like the
Now it's different though. I feel like after second and third generation, like K-pop and J-pop developed
Yeah.
completely different cultures in how they train their idols and singers. So
Yeah, for sure.
it's definitely different.
But when people say idol, I usually think of like Love Live, which I like.
I like Love like this
I don't usually think of like
Snow Halation.
yeah. I don't usually think of like Arashi, which is like to me is just kind of unlistenable. So
Yeah.
maybe when people say idols, I think like anime idols.
That's definitely like a niche.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
Well, I'm a weeb, so.
That's like its own thing.
Yeah, anime idols, I feel like they're like completely their own thing.
Yeah.
I just don't like boy bands unless they're emo.
Unless they're emo.
Unless they're After the Rain. Oh, funny thing. Sorry, USSS fans. I just don't like USSS. It's just the boy band. But like, I was watching that concert. What was it? Hiki Fest. Yeah. I was watching Hiki Fest, and like, there was Mafu Mafu. There was After the Rain. There was Shonen T and Amatsuki. There was USSS and some other boy band. So I didn't like the two boy bands at all. Like, I just don't like boy bands. Like, there was like, unless they're like actually, like, if there was a boy band like After the Rain, who are actually extremely musically interesting to me, and like.
Well, wait a moment.
There's a huge bias here. Huge bias here.
Like,
I just listened to USSS and I was like, I mean, what is there here like that? There was like nothing here that interested me. So like, it was just kind of like the chat was also just like people like simping for each member. I mean, that was the case with Mafu Mafu too.
people
but,
like that, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, hot take. You like what you like.
Yeah. I mean, obviously that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
That's
can
fair.
I
Just
ask?
to clarify, you can go first.
Oh, I want to ask y'all about like, since everyone here is like, we like Mafu Mafu, what is your opinion on the Mafu Mafu like Russia thing?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
As someone who watches both VTubers and really likes Mafu Mafu, okay, I'm gonna be honest, I think Twitter was overhyping it. That's just how it is. They're like, oh, when everyone is a huge fan of Mafu Mafu and everyone is a huge fan of Russia, they're gonna like go at it. But like, the thing is also, from what I've heard, it's also there's people who are like trying to make the drama bigger by pretending they were mad, and they weren't either Russia or Mafu Mafu's fans. They were just like trying to rile up everyone to make it a bigger scene.
Oh, that's awful.
Which is awful. And then in addition to that, like there was actually no evidence. I mean, they alluded to it.
The reason Russia is not Russia anymore is because like she tried to clear it up. Like she really, anyway,
I
sorry.
feel so bad for Russia. Yeah, like honestly, it's just kind of like a series of unfortunate events that like I don't know. It's just really sad, in my opinion.
Do y'all have any like thoughts on that?
It's just like, whatever. Whatever at this point.
Yeah, it was like pointless. It shouldn't have.
Like Mafu fans didn't really care at all.
Yeah, I don't think Mafu fans cared, and I don't think many Russia fans cared.
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
And then,
Apparently it was mostly like Japanese fans.
yeah.
Because they have like the thing where idols like can't like date or something. But like
Oh yeah, Gachi
Mafu
Koi.
Mafu is now an idol. So
Yeah, that's the thing though. Like, Russia is a VTuber infamous for like role playing like the girlfriend experience, like Gachi Koi. So that's why it made it worse, because she was like role playing the girlfriend, and then she was like, oh, newsflash, she might potentially be dating Mafu Mafu, and everyone was like, what? That's illegal. That's impossible.
And Mafu Mafu and Soru is the BL fantasy.
Yes, exactly. So it's like, these people are getting heated up over this, and I'm just like, bro, they're both cool people. Like, come on, can't they just do whatever they want? They can be friends. If they're dating, it's totally cool. I'm not going to jump to that conclusion, but, you know, I just think whatever. They're just content creators. They have their own lives, right?
like, even if they were like together in some way, like if they had a relationship, all the stuff that they've been putting out, like maybe it's a good influence. Like, come on.
I would just be like, thumbs up. Two people I like are dating. That's perfectly fine with me. That's fine. I don't care.
It's just that the Japanese culture is very different.
Yeah.
Like how they accept those kinds of issues. And
They want
not only a Japanese thing. It's
Yeah.
general East Asian thing, maybe.
they want Mafu Mafu to be a virgin forever.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, okay, that's the thing. There's a difference between okay, I like VTubers, but I do admit that a lot of the people who like VTubers are a little sus. like they're just like, I simp for them. There's a point when you can't simp for real people like you simp for anime characters. Like, it's fine to call Asuna your waifu, but like, you don't go into whole line and say, oh, Hoshimachi Suisei is my girlfriend. Like, no, you don't do that.
Okay, so
We're getting off
interesting.
topic.
Like, no, that's fine. Like, that's what the podcast is.
Yeah,
But
oh my
like,
gosh.
interesting like topic. Like, I see these people cosplaying as Mafu Mafu and shit.
Huh.
Like, even I have done that. So like, is that weird? Like, because like having like virtual like Mafu Mafu like Utaite and VTubers kind of like blur the line
Yeah.
between like 3D and 2D.
Yeah, they're
So,
like
like,
2.5, right?
So it's like cosplaying as Mafu Mafu like weird.
Okay, so sorry, I don't want to interrupt you. You sound like you're about to talk.
I mean, I was just gonna say, like, for a long time, I was kind of off put by that kind of stuff, but if I see other people do it, I'm like, it's whatever.
Personally, I think as long as you're aware that they're real people and you respect them and their feelings, it's fine. Like, I think it's fine to cosplay Mafu Mafu because it's like you just look up to him, right? You just think he's pretty cool. But like, if you start taking it too far, then that's when it gets a little weird, because I'd imagine in his shoes he'd probably think, oh, there's people doing weird stuff on the internet.
I mean, I don't know. I always thought for Mafu Mafu specifically, he has like a character, like, image, right?
And then he has his real image. But
Right.
some people cosplay as like both.
Yeah, but like, I knew him before I knew his real image.
Hmm.
Like, I only knew his character image because he wasn't showing his face like in the very, very beginning. So I knew him from then, and like, people would kind of like do the white and the barcode thing. Like, I don't know. I didn't find it that weird because they were cosplaying the character image,
Yeah, I think
not
that's like
actual
less
Mafu Mafu.
weird.
Yeah.
But like there's this guitarist who covers Mafu Mafu stuff called Dessa Lesser. I don't know should name. He's good. Check him out. But anyway, he basically just cosplays as like Mafu Mafu's like real like self. Like he has like yellow hair and whatever, and like the mask, like the cute mask. So
Interesting. I don't know about that one.
yeah, it's kind of weird.
Because there's like a line of like, wait, you're literally being an impersonator. And like, is that okay? I don't know.
It's like Elvis impersonators.
Yeah, people do
except
that.
with
But like, they do that usually when people are already dead. So I don't know. Yeah,
I don't know. I never really put that much thought into the problem, to be honest. I didn't think that real image cosplaying was like a huge like thing. So
What do you think of like simping in like the Utaite community? It's huge now.
it is.
That is okay. I think it's inevitable. There's gonna be people that do that. You can't change it. That's just how weeb fans are. Unfortunately, there are people who like anime characters and real people, but what can we do about it?
Let's not generalize. It's a part of the community.
It's a part of the
like
community.
that.
I think it attracts followers. However, oh man, that's a thing.
Wait,
though.
no, but this is like a thing for content creators too. Like, do you want people to simp after a character you make, or like yourself, like so you can get the money?
Yeah, that's like, it's just like kind of how the internet works, because, like I guess I said this before we started recording, but I do see a lot of newer Utaite, and I'm just like, you're an e-boy. You're not an Utaite, you're an e-boy. You're just like some guy on TikTok who like looks cute and gets a lot of fans just like being, like, not even that good of a singer. It's just like, you're an e-boy. You should just like, I don't know.
Like, you want to know that they're like actually into the singing and not the popularity.
Yeah, it feels like there's a lot of like newer Utaites who are just e-boys to me. And like, but then like the simping culture is like so big that it doesn't even matter. They just...
Hot take. It is true there are people that are less talented than Mafu Mafu, and maybe they are going on the e-boy thing, but there's when there's a demand, there's a need and there's a demand, right? So it's like, come on, like, they're gonna do it anyways, right? So whatever.
Yeah, but I feel like old Utaite culture, like on niconico, where you weren't allowed to show your face, kind of like it controlled for that like e-boy factor a bit more. Like still there was simping for voices. People were like horny for voice. But they
I distinctly remember all those comments.
but at least like you took like the face out of the equation, so like it had to be more about like the voice and like it's an Utaite, so it's like more about the even if you're horny for voices.
Yeah,
like,
I totally
at least,
get that.
I don't know. It feels like better to me than just like kind of being an e-boy.
More about the craft, like you want people to be about the craft, not the image.
I don't even know any of the new Utaites because I just like kind of strayed for a while. Like
Yeah, me
after,
neither.
yeah.
I don't know what counts as new, to be honest.
Well, to me, like most of the new ones I see are like kind of e-boyish. There's a few good ones that I've discovered recently, like Ewik. He's good. He sang this one song really good, and then he has other stuff. And then there's I've seen a few others that are like pretty cool, but there's no like new ones that are like changing the game really, in my opinion. So I mean, there's like newish but still old ones like Miyashita Yu. Like even Mafu Mafu is like new compared to like the really old people.
So maybe we're still in that kind of era. Like there's still not that transition into another era yet, even though there's like starting to be new kind of Utaites.
Well, I think we actually are transitioning into a new era because like it's kind of just like the complete dilution of niconico culture. I think it started with like Ayase Yosobi, or even before that, but that's like the peak of this kind of thing where like you have a Vocaloid producer, Ayase, and you have an I guess a new Utaite, whoever, I forgot her name, whoever's singing with him. But like it is now neither Vocaloid or Utaite. It's just like a J-pop thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm wondering also, like this is about an earlier topic, but like how common is it for Utaite to make a character for themselves?
Well, that used to be like
It was fairly common in the past.
I think most people still do.
It's convenient because it's like it's something that you can use as a persona in your songs, right? When for the visuals, as well as something that you can like present yourself as. And like you said, now people are showing their face more often. So
Do they still have the characters when they show their faces?
Everyone has like a VTuber now though.
yeah,
that's true.
so technically they're making a character, but it's like not to it's like their thing, but it's also like they just want to be an anime character, right? That's the thing.
I mean, in the past, when nobody really showed their faces, like, it was a powerful, like, identity factor, like, that just character image. Because not everyone can just immediately recognize you by your voice, unless, like, you're a huge fan. So, just to have that image connected with your Utaite name was just something that was extremely common. It's just easy to draw in people, you know, when you have an image.
And then it's like there's the mysterious aura of like, oh, like I don't know. I feel like if you don't show their face, there's more mystery to it, and like you just want to listen to more of their music because you're like, oh, well, maybe it's not even the face. I don't know. It's just like you don't know.
Yeah, that was like, I really like that aspect of like early Utaite, and I just wish they didn't show their face. Whatever.
Well, yeah, I agree, but also I'm proud of that. I'm proud for like Mafu Mafu when he like finally like, it's development, but also it's changes things.
It appeals to more people too. It's like Vocaloid, like like when you, it's like Vocaloid producers stop using Vocaloid and start using human voices. It appeals to more people. Like Utaite start showing their faces. It appeals to like more people.
I don't know.
But like, I don't know.
I think that there's still many people who enjoy Vocaloid just as much as they enjoy Utaite.
But I think it's a way smaller, like, audience.
It's sad because I feel like there's a feeling like there's an aura that only Vocaloids can produce precisely because they're not human. Like, the creepiness, like kind of atmosphere that was used in Bad at Night.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly feel like I wouldn't feel the same listening to Bad at Night when actual people sing it rather than not the Vocaloids, because the entire series is just eerie, and that's the main focus. And that effect was amplified precisely because Vocaloids were singing it. And then if I hear a cover, like a human cover of that song, I just feel like I wouldn't get the same kind of, feeling.
I feel like in that case, it's like it doesn't become I'm looking for what the song itself is bringing to me. It's like it's becoming like, oh, what is this unique person going to bring? Like, what are they doing? What are they accentuating? What are they exaggerating? What's their unique meaning? But yeah, with Vocaloid, it's like more about the artist, like the whole song, like the composer, like everything that they did, not the singer. Yeah.
What's everyone's favorite Utaite?
Oh man.
That's really difficult.
Really difficult. I had like phases. I was like a huge Glutamin fan for such a long time, and then I transitioned into people like KK and Hanatan. I don't know if you guys know them.
Yeah. Kogeno? Kogeno? Right?
Yeah, KK. Yeah, some of his covers are like amazing.
Yeah, everyone knows Hanatan, right?
Yeah, Hanatan is pretty famous.
Didn't she like?
I don't know.
Isn't she like not in Utaite anymore?
I think so. I mean, yeah, I wasn't like a long time ago, but yeah, probably those three. I was into Mafu Mafu as well, but like if you're into Utaite, then at one point you listen to Mafu Mafu. So I think honestly, like he doesn't really like count in many situations.
So I think I have to credit Miyashita Yu for actually making me like appreciate Taite more. Like for some reason when I found him, I realized that like, oh, people who cover this kind of stuff can bring their own like super unique style and like really human sounding things like that are so different, so unique. I love it. So,
I'm a normie. So I'm gonna say Mafu Mafu, but that's only because I liked Amatsuki, Soraru, Mafu Mafu. And those are like the big main three that everyone loves. And I feel kind of like I want to expand my horizons. And
they're popular for a reason.
Yeah,
they are popular and they're good. I really like them. However, I always tell myself I want to expand. But then I ended up not expanding to more Utaite. I just ended up following more J-pop artists. So that's the direction I've gone. So
I made a video, my top 9 Utaite list a while ago.
I watched that, yeah.
Mafu Mafu, obviously, Soraru. I actually used to like Amatsuki and then stopped really liking. I mean, he does a certain thing good, but like I can't take him seriously on like serious songs.
Because then he always does like romance and fluffy songs, right?
Well, he sounds like Disney. Basically. Like he sounds like so happy. So when he does like dark songs, I'm like, I can't take you seriously at all. But yeah, I like his voice on like happy stuff. It's really
My
good.
favorite cover from him is his Telecaster B-Boy cover. Yeah.
My favorite is his most popular one. It's really good. The Chisana thing.
Yes, that's a good one as well.
Yeah, that's just a J-pop song too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention Neko 96. I also like her.
Kuneko.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I think she talks a lot with Amatsuki now, recently. They play Apex together.
I like that one song where Neko 96 sang with, was it VIP Tencho? I don't remember. It was like, that one. I don't remember the title anymore. There was like a person, like an Utaite that Neko 96 used to like cover a lot with. I don't
Cool.
think it's still a thing, but
I like her cover, Childish War with Koge. I'm not sure. I think it was Koge Inu and Neko, Kuro Neko. But I'm not, yeah.
I listened to a few albums. I thought they were good.
Yeah. Well.
I just want people to listen to Nisuru more.
Mitsuru?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
No.
You have to sell us. You can't just say,
Uh-huh.
we want more
These
people.
Yeah, you
Mitsuru
can't
was-
say no. Just-
Nisuru was on my like top 9 list, but he has a really cute voice and I love it. I simp for his voice. And basically that's all. Yeah.
That's not
all.
enough for
No,
for me.
he sounds like well, he collabs with Sylvana a lot. He did an album with Sylvana.
Wait, is
Two-
it like, do you mean cute as in like 5th grade elementary boy cute, or like high school crush? Oh, you're cute, kind of like cute.
like Mafu Mafu cute?
Interesting.
Oh, okay.
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 But like, that's fine. I mean, for me, it's kind of like I want people to be their own unique brands. I don't want you to.
Well, he doesn't sound like Mafu. I think he has a unique voice. It's cute though. It feels like it's the Utaite voice that I simp the most for. Like, I don't really simp for like Mafu Mafu, honestly. I'm mostly interested in Mafu Mafu because of like musical reasons. Not, I mean, I guess he definitely has like a simpable voice, but I don't personally simp for his voice. So, yeah.
Interesting.
I just think he's an incredible musician.
You think like I tend to notice that male utaites are way more popular. Like why?
Is that true? I guess it is true now. I think it used to not be.
It used to not be. There was like Kano, Neko 96, I guess. Hanatan. I'm trying to remember all the ones that I used to like. Kano has a really cute voice.
Yeah.
What is she
You're
doing
right,
now?
actually.
I don't know. I was like still in like the Utaite world when Kano was still active, and then I like kind of strayed, and I don't know what happened to her. So
She might do like anime stuff now. Or wait, maybe she became a VTuber. I don't know.
So what I'm hearing now is kind of like when utaites become VTubers, they start being called VTubers, like not utaite.
I wanted to talk about that, actually. What, like, do you think VTubers count as Utaite? Because they have the model, they don't show their face, and they cover songs. And sure, they stream video games, but they still cover songs. Because by that definition...
I mean, Hololive specifically, like, a lot of them are, like, really about their music.
Yeah, by that definition, I could say, oh, I freaking watch so many Utaite, but, like, that depends.
But
It's
yeah.
a different culture.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, they do sing stuff, but it really is a different culture.
Yeah. But, like, also, there's, like, some VTubers out there that actually, like, really specialize in music, but they are more of a VTuber because they're, like, hired by contract.
Yeah.
Like, I know this is kind of, like, a more niche one, but, like, Izuru from Holostars. Hololive is, like, the female branch, but Holostars is, like, the male branch, and there's, I think he, like, actually is really, really into music, and he does a lot of covers, but because he has a contract, he streams more than he covers songs. But he still covers a lot of songs. So I don't know if, like, what the boundary is between VTuber or Utaite. Of course, I think it's a mixing pot, but it just depends on what you think it is.
Yeah, like, when you say the culture is different, I honestly don't see too much how the culture is different.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, there was that original, like, niconico culture.
Yeah.
But is that dead? It might be.
I think niconico is still pretty hot in Japan, though.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Like they're pretty stoked.
But it used to be that, like, Western fans had to, like, learn how to use niconico and stuff. And then they would, like, repost, like, shitty quality videos without crediting the original on YouTube. And,
Yeah.
that era.
Yeah, that era. I was in that era.
But now they're all on YouTube. I don't know. I would say
Then
that...
we can say Utaite, not Utaite.
I feel like in the past, though,
Well, that's
like,
a different culture. Like
Oh.
Utaite,
Oh,
like
man.
I wouldn't call VTubers Utaite, although some of them are. But like Utaite were the original like mostly like non-Japanese weebs like trying to do
Like Jubi
Utaite
Phonic?
stuff on YouTube.
Yeah, like maybe I'm just.
Jubi
Oh yeah,
Phonic?
I think Jubi would be.
Oh yeah, I recently got into like Will Stetson, and he's
yeah,
like, yeah,
yeah, he's a Utaite, I think.
through like Osu and stuff. But like, oh my gosh, you guys are so experienced. You guys have like all these categories laid out, and you're like filing everyone into one category. And I'm just like, well, they all sing Japanese music and they
Yeah,
cover
yeah.
songs, so they
So,
must be an Utaite.
Do you feel like maybe it's like their origin, like what they started off doing is what will define them as Utaite or Utaite, and not VTubers?
I think it's mostly like the group of people, like their fan base, because like VTuber fan base and Utaite fan base are kind of different. Like they have overlap, but they're pretty different. I think.
So they're there for the streams, but if there's a cover, they'll watch it.
Yeah, I think so.
But
yes.
whereas
The
for
thing is-
Utaite, they're there for the covers.
Yeah.
But if they stream, more people are flocking to the covers.
Yeah, I
I
think
see.
that's right. Yeah.
But then
Okay.
that can become a personal thing though, because for me, I really only watch Hololive for their I like their music, you know.
Well, like, yeah, in that case, in your definition, then Hololive would be
Yeah.
Utaite. But, like, for other people,
But for most people, maybe not.
it's like, oh, I'm there to watch their streams. But, like, that's up to personal interpretation, right?
we can't it's not really well quantified.
Yeah. And
I
can
think.
agree
I
with
mean, I guess like it's hard to define as with like any genre debate. This is now devolving into like is this like
it's kind of like, is Chinese anime anime?
Yeah.
You know?
Yikes.
You know?
But like I would say that if they primarily do music, then they would be a new Utaite.
I think, well, like, the boundaries were a lot clearer just even, like, a couple of years ago, because
Yeah.
when
Now
niconico
it's-
was around,
Because like
Utaites
VTubers
only
didn't
did
even
music.
exist like 4 years ago.
Yeah. Utaites, like, only did music before, like, I
Yeah.
don't know, Utaites were huge, and, like, yeah, they didn't do anything else. They just sang.
Well,
So-
VTubers, not like Utaite.
Yeah, that's true, but I don't know. I feel like there was a larger, more definable difference
Yeah.
in the past.
What's
Now
that?
it's just, I don't know.
I wonder if, no, I think the phrase will always be around.
It'll just be used more loosely.
Yeah.
It's like how weeb became, like, there's so many terms that were so specific in the past, and, like,
True.
over time they kind of got watered down. But I think that's going to happen to Utaites eventually.
Hmm.
Or it's just, like, it's going to be used looser. And
it
that's...
already has.
Yeah. And that's just because everything is mixing together and the weeb community is becoming more, like, integrated. It's like, oh, I like anime, I like this. It's like a rabbit hole.
I think that can't be helped though, because no matter what you're talking about, if a medium grows,
Yeah.
then you just have a bunch of things happening, and it just cannot be focused.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
it's like
yeah.
it's like a cycle. It's like a fandom cycle that
Yeah.
has been observed in tons of different areas.
Right.
Like you have something that has something there. It's good, so it spreads. Like it starts out small, then it spreads, and then there's like exponential growth, and then eventually like it gets unsustainably big or something like that, and then just dissolves or collapses or something. So I think like weeb stuff has gotten so ridiculously big that it's just sort of dissolved into like, or it's starting to dissolve into like culture in general.
Hmm.
And I think not in the West, because a lot of weebs here still don't even know what Utaite is, but like in Japan, I think Utaite is just sort of, and Vocaloid is sort of just dissolving into part of like J-pop instead of being separate, because like Vocaloid songs are now like King by Canaria, a bunch of Canaria songs honestly have like hit charts. Mafu Mafu stuff has been on like top of charts and stuff like that, so
That's cool. I like that. I don't know if like, I don't think anything should be gatekept in any way. So I think it's cool that it's kind of like, I think it's a good thing that it's becoming more popular.
I feel like with all genres of anything, it always ends up, the development of how it pulls into other genres is how it becomes its own unique style. Like, I mean, we all joked about bringing up jazz before, but like, I'm pretty sure that was developed through other cultures pulling into it too. And look, it's become its own thing. And I'm pretty sure the same thing is going to happen with pretty much all of J-pop. And that's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
It just means that it'll be broader and there'll be niches within J-pop. And honestly, in that case, whatever. It's cool. I like it. I think it leaves a lot more room for people to find what they like within the whole weeb genre.
Yeah, it's all weeb music anyway.
Yeah, it's all Japanese. Shake my head.
Like I've also noticed like sometimes I watch Mafu Mafu like get a new like he's on a new like TV drama and I'm like he's getting too popular.
Huh.
I want him to be less popular now.
What the heck?
He's been on several. Like he was actually an actor in one of them.
Huh.
Crazy.
He had like a little cameo role as the art teacher.
What? I watch J-dramas.
I forgot. But you can look it up.
Dang.
And then he did like openings for anime and dramas and stuff like that. And I'm like, he's getting too popular. I want him to like just be at like 1 million subscribers and just like stay there or something. That's like my personal like, I don't know.
Gatekeeping off.
I definitely get it though. I get it. Because I liked Utaitas when they were, to be honest, like a lot less known. Like there was like a particular community on niconico that just followed them.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of stayed small with that culture.
Do you
And then
think
it got like blown up and I was like, okay, well, it's getting too big for me. Goodbye. Yeah.
so it's like become harder to connect with people over those kind of things?
I guess there was just a particular culture that I cannot describe in like 50 words or whatever in the past. Whereas now, everything's just too much and there's way too much content that I can't really keep up with enough to stay interested in the culture. And whereas like before, it was just I knew the songs, I knew the people. Even if I didn't know the songs, there weren't like a whole like mass of songs coming out that I couldn't keep up with the cycle. Whereas now it's just like I have to be really selective with what I like listen to. And when I become too selective, I just kind of get sick of that whole selective process. So that I just can't stay in the fandom, and then I'm like too tired. I'm like goodbye. I leave.
Like stuff. Oh, sorry.
Well, I guess like in your case, I would say like it can be overwhelming, like especially if you're trying to get into something for the first time. You're like, where do I even start? But I agree that like having options is amazing. Like back in the day, you know, we didn't have too many options. Like if you looked at like iTunes, you're like, there's like 10 songs here.
Yeah. That's just how it was. And now it's just like you go onto YouTube, you click a J-pop video, and there's 50 other J-pop videos, and then you can click another one, and you're like, oh, this sounds good. This sounds good. Add them all to my playlist. Oh, wait a second. Now it's at 700 songs. Oh, well. Like,
no, I honestly think I would have found it a lot easier if I didn't get in so early.
Yeah.
I think it's because like I'm so used to that slow cycle that when the cycle just suddenly started getting super rapid at this, you know, this amazing pace, exponential levels almost, I was like, okay, this is not what I'm used to. So if I just came in like around like 2019, 2020, I don't think I would have like left almost. So.
I think one thing that may have happened, I'm not sure, but you could like disagree with me or whatever, or I wasn't there in the culture, early Nico culture, but like I feel like it possibly has, like the focus has shifted away from like Utaite stuff to just like, oh, I'm a like Mafu Mafu fan or a USSS fan, rather than just like an Utaite fan. And also like they may have focused more on like songs, like, oh, this song, I don't know, something like that. You know what I mean? Like, I know a lot of people who like only know Mafu Mafu or like USSS or something like that. And I think that's just become a thing. Like, rather than being a Utaite fan, you're just like a fan of this person.
Yeah.
As I think the old community was a lot more like connected.
It was.
Like, this
Yeah.
is Utaite.
Yeah.
This is it.
It's like pretty much everyone knew which Utaites you were talking about. It's kind of like, because there were many, but there were enough for you to keep up with. So it's like, oh, for this song, this Utaite sang it the best, kind of thing. Like, there was that kind of culture.
So it was like Mafu Mafu became his own genre within Utaite.
Basically.
So there's like Utaite genre, and within the Utaite you cut it in half, and the one half is already all of Mafu Mafu, and the other half is all the other Utaites.
Well,
And then they're like, okay, I guess. Like,
I think what I think happened was like kind of there was like an exodus to YouTube, and I'm not sure who led it, but Mafu Mafu was part of it. And so like there became this like YouTube thingy centered around like Mafu Mafu and Amatsuki and like stuff like that. And then there was like the old thing, which may or may not be still there. I should use niconico more honestly, but like it's kind of an annoying platform. But it may still be there, like, but it sort of like split off. It was like an evolutionary like nested tree. But then it just like diversified so much in like the YouTube ecosystem.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm happy for that. I don't think I would have gotten into Utaite otherwise because I was such a Vocaloid like purist.
But I'm glad that like I've heard a lot of like smaller people pick up Mafu Mafu's composition style, which I really like because it is extremely good. Like he has a unique sound within like J-pop stuff or J-rock or whatever, which yeah, I've been thinking about that because I'm working on that video.
Nice.
But yeah.
But is that kind of like what you're saying, like those stylistic choices, is that a product of Utaite culture?
I think his composition comes out of Vocaloid stuff.
It does.
Except he's added a few cool things which are really cool that I haven't seen anywhere. Like, there's a lot of good stuff in Vocaloid, but like, I haven't seen what he has done. There's a few little like music theory thingies, which like I haven't seen anyone else use 12-tone rows. I haven't seen anyone like use just like really cool passing chords in the way that he does. Although Vocaloid has a lot of cool stuff.
So I guess like being part of like a more niche genre is more creatively freeing.
I'm not sure. It really depends because like I do think like just normal J-pop is way more like musically interesting to me than like Western pop.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's super big. Like I like Hige Dandism, like even Hige Dan, huge band, but even they do like cool stuff. Kenshi Yonezu.
Yeah.
Like now the biggest person ever, a former Vocaloid producer. He does really cool stuff in his ridiculously popular songs. So
yeah.
I love
It's
Kenshi's
kind of hard.
content. Oh no.
Yeah.
Anyway, go on.
sorry. I just don't know. Oh great. I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh wait. Oh okay. So I feel like when something gets popular, a meta is formed for like this is the algorithm for what people like. And they're like, this chord, this type of thing, this type of background music, like this is it. This is the meta. If I make things with this formula, it'll become popular. And that's what I think. That's when I think it becomes too popular.
yeah, and that happens in like everything. There's
But I
something.
think,
Yeah.
Oh. No. That's pretty much done.
Honestly, though, I saw that, like, I don't see much of that, at least, like, anime music got really big, right? But I honestly can't think of, like, a generic anime song that, like, everyone just kind of uses. And I listen to a lot of anime songs. So, like, I mean, there are definitely similar songs, I guess, but a lot of the songs that I listened to, like, this season, even, in the anime stream for, what season is it? Spring? Yeah, spring 2022. It's like, Yeah, there are like pretty unique songs that continue coming out. It's just not. I don't know. There's not this one popular tune, I guess, that I can really spot. I mean, I listen to a lot of K-pop and pretty much everything sounds the same.
Well, I would say that like every like Love Live song sounds the same, but they all sound good. So.
Oh yeah, well, Love Live, I feel like that's different because it's
Like,
from the same
And like that kind
group,
of
right.
that kind of thing. Like not only Love Live, like Bang Dream and whatever, all that like anime idol stuff. Like I like it, but it all sounds the same. So.
I get
Really,
that.
I feel like Bang Dream though, it's like I feel like they're a bit more different in a way, unless you're listening to Pulpy Pie. I'm not a Pulpy Pie fan.
And like what's it the Astral Core openings? I forgot. Sorry.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
You'll probably remember later.
Not Precure. The other one.
That's sort
What's the Astral Core stuff? Sorry, this is a reference that like only Tony gets. He can't hear me.
just like magical girl stuff.
Yeah, like that
Magical
kind of stuff.
girl. Oh, okay.
I'm thinking of Precure,
No.
lyrical nano.
Utena.
No,
Wait,
that's
is
not
it?
it. That's
Card
not it.
captor.
Oh, don't ask Tony.
Oh, you need to ask.
Wow, he
Oh,
left.
man.
Oh my
We've
God.
been abandoned. I can't believe this.
That's
He went that
funny.
way, I think. Anyways.
I can't see that. That's what it was.
Okay.
Yeah, they all sound the same too. So
I don't know what that is, but
it's some like idol whatever thing.
I can't. I don't know. Hololive is the worst I can do. Like Love Live and stuff. I'm like, oh my god, what is that?
No, Snow Halation was
Snowhalation is good.
Snow
Okay,
Halation was such a jam.
I was
Snowhalations.
I was in the
Snowhalation
first
is an
gen.
excellent
Yes,
song.
all
Yeah.
the first gen songs I liked, but that was because I played the rhythm game and I just have a bias with games.
I love Slow Halation on Osu. Will Stetson's like mean cover of it. I was like
There's one Idol Master song too that I'm just not remembering the song. It's supposed to be this really like heartwarming song where that blue-haired girl is able to sing.
Asumi
No, not the pigtail. Indigo, Idol Master. Anyway, it was a really good song. Oh man, I love that song. I just don't remember the title anymore. I'm so sad.
Oh, is okay, so are Utaite's idols? Because there's like Utaite boy bands.
after they get a following.
There's like Monopalette, there's USSS, there's XYZ.
How are we defining idols here? This
I don't know.
context.
If
Cause like
Arashi
yeah, I'm
is
still
idol.
attached to the idea of like a classical idol. Like I'm thinking right now of the Yakuza character Haruka.
No.
She's like, she's wearing her like pink fluffy dress, and she's like, oh, everything is amazing. Like that's what I envision an idol as. If an idol has any kind of like negative connotation, like if they ever talk about anything sad, it needs to have something uplifting.
Because
Or else
I
they're not an
have a
idol.
very strict definition of what an idol is. Maybe because I'm more, I don't know. It's like they have to be trained at a certain studio or like a production company, whatever. Yeah, they're hired, they sign a contract, they train for a couple of years or however many time it takes them to debut. They debut, they either dance, rap. They have all these different positions within the group, and then
So, is
that's
Miku
the
an
idol.
Miku's a voice
totally-
bank, though.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, that's a good question actually. Mika to me is an idol, but she can sing whatever she wants.
Okay, here's the question. What differentiates an idol and a celebrity? Because
oh yeah.
I think if we're going to ask whether or not Utaite count as idols, we'd have to ask, are they a celebrity or are they an idol? Because yes, they sing songs, but are they doing the idol role?
Do they do all the cool choreography?
I just see boy band and I just call it idols. So maybe that's wrong.
Yeah, and like idol is such like a weird word now. Like before it was like, oh, like you go on stage, you do the dance, you do the song, but now it's like, okay, like VTubers are like online personalities and they're still called idols.
Are they?
Yeah, they're literally like they have the
Yeah.
debut for it and they
Oh, okay.
and then
So
they're-
virtual idols.
they're virtual idols. So it's like what even is an idol anymore? Is it just
Maybe it's a
cohesive
self-definition, like self-assigned.
self-assigned?
I don't know. I feel like that's the pattern I notice.
Yeah.
It's like any like boy band or like something.
Well, there's an idol band, to be fair. So I feel like band and idol is still different. In the middle, there's the idol band. Like Day 6. I don't know if anyone knows Day 6, but they're an idol band. But
Because like Utaite and VTubers are different from like K-pop groups
They
where
are.
they are like classically trained and like they have
Yeah.
to undergo rigorous training and then they debut and then they're a cohesive group that performs
Oh,
and they are
Whoa.
trained to do that.
Yeah, idols are always like, you get called an idol when you are like debuting from like a company that's already big. Like if you're making your own following, I don't think that's being an idol.
There's
Yeah.
a lot of like new Utaite fans that can't tell the difference between Mafu and K-pop though. So
What? Huh?
Well, I mean, that makes sense
I
in a
feel
way.
so affronted.
That makes sense.
Me too.
How?
It makes sense though because in their eyes they're like guy who sings songs
And
that
it's
goes to
Asian.
concerts.
There's like a low key, almost racist thing that goes
Yeah.
into the whole equation then.
Yeah.
Possibly.
That's what I'm getting. That's the vibe I'm getting. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
Feel free to argue about anything we say. Please do it.
Kind of like all East Asians look the same. They kind of speak the same language, so we can't tell the difference between Chinese, Japanese, and Korean and whatnot.
That's the vibe that I'm getting.
So Mafu and K-pop must be the same thing. I don't know. I don't agree
It
with
should
that.
not. No.
It's funny though.
well, like at this, like looking at it from a perspective of someone who hasn't been there from the beginning, who's looking at Mafu's content currently, and comparing it to K-pop. Would you really
I
fault
still feel like it's very different.
Would
though.
you really?
I
fault
still
them?
think it's
Yeah, I still think even if you first jump into Mafu and you see K-pop, it just the vibe
It's completely
is completely different.
The
Yeah,
vibe
because
is
like
different,
I don't
for sure.
like K-pop and I like Mafu, so
So you're like,
so that's
for me,
that's
it's
for me.
it's out of
Okay,
it.
well,
Okay,
I like
okay.
K-pop, and I also like Mafu, so I feel like I'm speaking from a more
Yeah.
objective
I
perspective.
don't watch K-pop, but like I can kind of understand why they would think that. But I'm not saying that I agree with them, but I'm just saying from an outside perspective of someone who was coming from K-pop and someone who didn't understand music theory and they just like the song and they just see Asian guy dancing on a stage, they're
I
like,
think, like they sound completely different though. And it's like, first of all, the language is different, but like also just like the composition and like the like sound, like the sounds that they use. They're like what is it, like their oral aesthetic or something like that is completely different. Like you never hear like Mafu guitar riffs like I can't do it. But you know what I'm talking about, like when he has like those guitar lines, that doesn't sound like BTS to me. So
Absolutely not.
yeah, I agree. It does sound different.
Although I guess K-pop is trying to reach out into a lot of different genres too.
I
But
think there's always been a huge range of genres in K-pop, especially if you go to older K-pop. I feel like it sounded a lot different than K-pop right now, but it just started to sound kind of similar after a certain stage, and then now it's starting to sound a bit different, but it's still K-pop. Like I was trying to get somewhere with this, but in conclusion, it just doesn't sound like Muff or any Utaite, like, you know.
yeah, I don't think so either.
Yeah,
Although
so.
I would say that since K-pop is so popular in Japan, some new J-pop sounds kind of like it to me.
I can agree
But
with
that has like
yeah.
nothing to do with Utaite culture at all.
That's
I kind of feel like Utaite culture is like to be compared to Western music. like to be differentiated from. Like there's just so many ways where Utaite music is so different from anything Western sounding, and like K-pop is bleeding into like a Western sound, so that's why I'm
I do think that K-pop sounds more Western to me
nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
and that's partially why I don't like it, because I don't like Western pop music.
I can agree. I listened to like 2008 K-pop, so I guess it's not the same. Yeah.
Well, is there anything else we should talk about?
We haven't talked about Eve at all. Do you want to talk about
Oh my
Eve?
god, Eve, what the heck?
Would you consider
Jesus.
Utaite? He like.
Well, he came out of that culture, but he's no longer an Utaite.
So when did he come out of that culture?
He started making his own songs.
Well, he like grew up in the culture. He started when he was 14.
Wow.
Yeah, but he started making his own song. His last cover was about 3 years ago, I think.
That's
So
crazy. It's been that long already.
And then he, in 3 years, became one of the most popular, like, J-pop artists. So, good job.
Wait, I just realized something. I lied. When I said that Mafu Mafu was the first Utaite I got to, it was Eve.
Mm.
Because I got into his Chocolate Town cover.
Chocolate.
Yeah.
I've never heard that.
And then I was like, I started looking at his stuff, and So and Eve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then now it's all coming back to me. I was talking to my friend about Eve and So, and she was like, let me look at your place, and that's when she started bringing up Mafu Mafu.
Mm-hmm.
So no, Mafu Mafu was not the first Utaite I listened to. It was Eve and So.
I love So.
So is so
Voice is
cool.
good.
Man. I love his songs as well.
I think, yeah, Eve's done good. Like, I still, he has, like, more subs than Mafu Mafu now.
That's great.
Yeah.
What?
I think he really broke out of that Utaite like aesthetic. I feel like he's just kind of established his own name.
Yeah. But doing the Jujutsu Kaisen opening was just, that was, seeing everyone, like, start, oh, who's this, like, who is she? Who is Eve? And, like, because a lot of people thought, like, he was a girl.
Oh.
Like Mafu Mafu, I guess. But, like, a lot, I think so, because, like, a lot of people, or maybe that was, like, on certain covers, like, on certain of his videos, I see, like, oh, who is she, or whatever. But I saw everyone who had no idea what Utaite was, like, suddenly, like, getting into Eve because he did, like, the Jujutsu Kaisen opening, or whatever. And that sort of similar thing happened with Mafu Mafu when he did Attacked.
Octopi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the anime.
I think, like, yeah, that kind of stuff happens when you do big, like, covers for, like, big anime. I don't know.
Yeah, but, like, they still don't know what Utaite are.
I mean,
Sad.
it's okay. They just like the specific song creator. It's just like how I started out. Like, you like one artist, and then you expand later by YouTube recommendation or some other kind of crap. I don't know. But they just have to explore, or maybe they'll never get into it. I don't know. It's up to them, right?
Well, it's a lot harder now anyway. But people should also listen to Clear, one of my favorite old Utaite. Clear was super popular.
Are they named Clear for a
Wow.
certain reason?
Huh?
Are they named Clear after something else, or
What? are you talking
what is their aesthetic? Like, if they have a character, what does their character look like?
He has brown hair.
Okay, never mind.
Or is it yellow?
What were you gonna say?
Nothing. No problem.
Nothing.
Nothing at
I don't
all.
know what you're talking
There's
okay,
no problem here.
Okay.
about.
Mm.
It's such a long time.
Clear and Euro used to be like
Oh,
The-
Nero! Oh my
the
goodness!
OG, like,
Yes,
the
Clear
old
Nero, yes! I finally remembered!
now it's like Mafu Mafu and
Oh, I love their Cantarello cover. Oh,
And
so-
even so is like the BL pairing now.
Aw, Clear and Nero. Oh my goodness, I'm going back to my
Yeah.
childhood memories.
Like, they're amazing singers.
They are.
Nero owns a bar now.
Really?
Or is it one of them owns a bar? I
Nice.
looked it up. When I go to Japan, I want to go to that bar. I'm gonna go there.
That sounds sick.
It sounds actually really cool.
I don't know what he does at the bar, but you know, he probably sings. Yeah, but like, I love Clear so much, but like he still has a big following, but it's mostly Japanese people, and he hasn't gone professional. I don't know what he's doing. He still sings though, so that's good. He has such an amazing voice. He does have like, I don't know, whatever. It's not like a modern Utaite voice. It's more old Utaite voice. I
What does
think,
that
like,
mean?
There is such a thing called an old Utaite voice that I cannot
Well,
describe.
everyone tried to sound like glutamine, and then
Yeah,
everyone tries
glutamine.
to sound like Mafu.
Yeah, there was glutamine, akatin.
Yeah.
Those.
Akatin. Oh my god. I
Yeah.
interviewed him, or I sent him an interview, and he responded.
That's cool.
Really?
For
Oh
my
my
like
goodness.
project, I haven't published like. Well, I did, but I didn't finish translating the interviews before I published the paper.
I really, really liked Akatin's cover of Crescent Moon. That was like my favorite cover of him. Yeah, but memories.
I still really want to know what old Utaite sounds like compared to new Utaite.
Listen to glutamine.
Yeah, listen
Okay.
to Glutamine.
Okay.
Who else? Clear.
Nero is pretty well known.
Yeah, Clear and Nero.
Oh man, I'm forgetting.
Who else? Anku is new. Anku is
Mafu
like
is newer.
Mafu.
Yeah.
Like contemporary. So like I think he started in like 2013 or something.
I don't remember the guys that used to do the screening. There was like a group of Utaites.
Oh, VIP potential. Not screening, but like this album.
Yeah. Glutamine, Akatin. There was definitely another person.
Oh, Akatin like screaming. He's a good screamer.
He is.
That sounds
I'm
interesting.
not remembering. There was another guy who sang like Glutamine.
Huh. Huh.
Yeah, but that was kind of the sound that I think. From what I've seen. Not that I was there.
Yeah, and like guys that were kind of like, I don't know, joking around almost.
Mm-hmm.
Underbar was popular. And there were like other guys who just weren't serious sometimes, especially with songs like Spinal Fluid, Explosion Girl. Songs that you have like leeway. And just like Matryoshka.
Mm-hmm.
There's other songs, but yeah.
Like,
The guy who made Honeyworks, Gone, used to be in
Okay.
Utaite.
really?
Yeah, he
Well,
I never knew that. Interesting.
Huh. It's like its own little sphere. Like everything is actually more related than.
Oh yeah, Nico culture. Rio, Vocaloid producer.
I think it's like not just niconico anymore though. It's like everything.
Yeah, but that's what it came from. And in Vocaloid, I follow a ton of Japanese Vocaloid producers in Utaite. Within Vocaloid, the Nico is still more important. Nico is still the home of Vocaloid.
Oh my gosh.
If you get 1 million views on YouTube, it's not nearly as impactful as if you got it on Nico. The rankings are still real for Japanese like fans at least.
I think the only producers that I like knew enough to like follow were like the producer of the Bad at Night series, like Hitoshi Suzuki.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, so good. And
Oh.
there was like one called Vana Ice, but I don't really remember. I don't know. It might have not been Vana Ice. There was a name that, the ones who produced Imitation Black, although I don't remember them very well.
One of my big favorite Vocaloid producers, Sasakure UK. I
Mm.
love Sasakure UK.
Memories.
That's like one of my favorites. And then everyone that I would talk to about that band that were like complete like not into anime would be like, oh, so they're from the UK. And I'd be like, no, they're not. They're a Vocaloid
Yeah.
producer. And they'd be like, oh, back to anime again, huh? And I'd be like, yeah.
Do Utaite nowadays post on like music streaming
Yeah.
channels very often?
Yeah. Mafu and some people are on Spotify.
Is
They have to be,
is
like, big,
Luz
though.
on
Yeah.
Spotify?
Okay.
Oh, probably. I don't really follow him though.
Oh,
I listen to Luz a lot.
I
Is
love
he, like,
his
still on
Royals.
Utaite?
There's a particular series that he covers a lot if you listen to the Queen of Hearts, but is that like a Vocaloid?
I don't know.
Queen of Hearts, Revolver.
Oh,
Is
that's
anyone-
Royal Scandal.
The Royal Scandal.
That I was about to talk about that. I love that
Oh,
series.
Royal Scandal. Good.
Scandal's so good.
I thought it was just.
No, wait, Luca did sing
Luca?
Revolver. Do you know the Vocaloid, Luca?
Mhm.
Oh, I'm thinking. When you said Luca, I was thinking about someone else.
Luca and Canon 69. I mean, Canon 69 is a real person, but like they did Revolver together in the Royal Scandal series.
Yeah,
So
I
it'd
think
probably be a
he's
Vocaloid,
definitely big enough to like be on Spotify.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's really popular.
Okay, so-
I never really liked his voice though. So
So, but like most Utaite, they don't like feel like they have the capacity to be on streaming channels.
probably if they're like small, but like all the big ones are. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing though. Like, I have all of these friends who are like, "Why don't you use Spotify? Why don't you use Spotify?" And I'm like, well, out of my playlist, a good 50% wouldn't even be on Spotify, and they'd be like, "Well, unfortunate, I guess." I'm like,
Like here, I know like small music producers who their first like choice is to go to streaming channels. So that's really interesting that it's still not changed for Utaite.
I think it's the culture. Like, Spotify might be seen as like more official. Like, you can put covers on there, but like, I started checking out Spotify. I don't use it because it's annoying unless you pay. But I started checking out Spotify so I could put my music on there. I haven't put my covers on there. My old covers at least, just because I don't feel like they're like professional enough quality to go on there. But maybe I should. I don't know.
Interesting. Well, but you know, also I'm like thinking about SoundCloud too, like as another sharing platform that people don't use.
Well, SoundCloud has its own culture, and
You think?
people don't use it for a reason. They're like they all have like their niche things. Like the people I follow on, I have all basically every major music platform, but like the people I follow on, I got like one like on SoundCloud by the way. But the people I follow on SoundCloud are mostly like weeb electronic producers, and like artcore people. So there seems to be SoundCloud is more for a certain type of musician, like SoundCloud rappers, obviously. Not many people are putting Utaite on SoundCloud. I'd never seen it, actually.
SoundCloud isn't it even huge in Japan?
Yeah, Japanese electronic producers use it, definitely.
Okay.
I know a lot. But like each platform has their own certain thing. There's a culture. So like Utaite is all on niconico and YouTube basically.
Okay. Interesting.
Like even Mafu doesn't have all his songs on Spotify. He only has like his album stuff and stuff like that. I think.
Wonder like at this point I have to wonder why. At first I know because the communities were like more specialized, but now everyone is pretty tech savvy. We know how to go to different websites.
Well, maybe if there's no Utaite on SoundCloud, people aren't gonna post any Utaite on SoundCloud because
That's true.
it seems like no one cares about Utaite on SoundCloud in the first place. So
someone has to like pioneer.
SoundCloud Utaite at least is better than SoundCloud rappers. So.
It doesn't have to be like that. I just think it's interesting to kind of like account like different communities and different places still.
I guess like no one really tries to pioneer into new platforms because what they have is good enough. Almost. They have Nico, they have YouTube. YouTube is pretty. I don't know.
I want everyone to post on Bandcamp. That's all I want.
Even after the acquisition.
Oh yeah, okay. So how is that gonna change anything?
People are worried. People are worried. I'll just say that.
Because Bandcamp was like the best thing to happen to online music.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I hope it's okay.
But like Bandcamp has a certain culture too. Like I don't see any like Utaite on there. So there's some Kikuos on Bandcamp, some Vocaloid producers on Bandcamp. But that's more like to me, it's more a platform, like a musician's platform, like for musicians, kind of vibe. That's what I
But
get.
like, I don't know. I feel like Utaite now they're musicians.
Well, it's like a different culture. Like, there's a lot of Japanese people on Bandcamp, but they're at least in my experience, are either in like the electronic stuff or like progressive rock or metal. Like I follow a lot of Japanese like gent stuff on Bandcamp. Totally different culture though. Unfortunately, I wish there would be more gent Utaite.
Anything else?
Any, like, I don't know, any underrated Utaite? Maybe we covered that. I don't know.
Well, I'm newer, so the Utaite I like are kind of not underrated, as in like in the past, and not many people know about them. But I really have liked this person named Yuka Nagase, and
Not sure what that is.
they're kind of small. They like release songs similar to Yoasobi, where they show like a 10-second clip of like their music, and then they follow it up with like their full song. Sometimes they're covers and sometimes they're original songs, but the thing is like no one knows about them, so it's like, but it's really good quality. I like it a lot. And like she makes like, whoever's behind the channel, they make all of the MVs, so it's like
Cool.
it's really good, even though it's like underrated and no one knows about it. So
Oh, are there Utaite rappers? I'm sorry, this is off topic.
Yeah, there are.
There are.
That's cool.
There's
Naruse.
Yeah.
oh yeah, Naruse.
The
Totally
biggest one,
forgot you
yeah.
existed. And then there's, God, what's that guy's name? It's the other one.
I'm asking because
Hashion.
I'm a fan of this.
Hashion.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
Mori.
I had to ask because I was like, I didn't know there was a culture before her.
Hashion, Naruse, and there's a few others.
I only followed like Hashion and Naruse. Oh man, I really liked Hashion.
What happened to Hashion?
I don't know. I listened to Naruse only because he did stuff with Ryo. What was it?
Oh,
Oh.
Ryo.
Yeah. Ryo.
Oh, one of my friends, my friend who got me into anime in high school, really liked Naruse. So I actually I didn't listen to Naruse at all. I probably listened like one song and didn't like it. But so I guess I knew about Utaite before, like years before I got into it, through my friend just always talking about Naruse.
Who are your two underrated singers?
Trying to think. I mean, underrated. I can't think of anyone right now. Everyone that I used to like, I feel like were really popular. At least when I liked them, because the community was relatively small, so everyone kind of knew each other. So there was no such thing as like underrated.
Oh,
like there
that's
weren't
cool.
that many. I think when I was in and then like now, obviously, like most of them are really popular. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I don't really remember.
I would just say Nisuru and Aoyuki. So. Oh, and one nameless Korean Utaite.
Oh, wait.
No, not like has no name. It's just the Japanese quotation marks
Oh.
on YouTube.
Oh, that person?
No. It's not.
Not
It's
that
not the
person.
cult.
It's
That's
It's not the cult.
that
Wait,
is
what?
not
I love
underrated.
that though.
That's not underrated in my opinion. I mean, it's just a person with like, last time I checked before they took away sub count, it was like 50 or less or something.
Okay.
Really good singer. Just like the name is that. And she's Korean, pretty sure, based on her before she removed all information. And yeah, that she's really good. And basically, that's all. Yeah. Okay.
Hey, okay.
Any last words?
Any last words?
Oh,
Last
hold the gun to the
word.
camera.
Your hot takes were too hot.
Oh wait, should we do hot takes?
I don't have any
I
hot
don't
takes.
have
like that.
hot takes.
I kind of already said it. I was a Vocaloid purist. I kind of
Okay.
still am, but like I'm trying. I promise.
I have a few hot takes. Well, I guess I made the hot takes before. I don't like e-boy Utaites. I don't like boy bands generally, unless they're Mafu Mafu. I don't like USSS. I don't like Monopalette. I'm sorry, everyone.
Are you though?
Huh?
You brought some of these up multiple times.
Yeah.
You're just like, I'm sorry, you proceeds to stab multiple times.
I don't like XYZ either that much. Although Araki is fine.
Oh yes,
Forgot.
Araki was the name I was forgetting. Araki was the name I was forgetting.
So yeah, that's all my hot takes. Okay, thank you everyone.
It's a note to end on.
What cap is this?
Number 7.
Number 7?
It's the first podcast episode in like a year.
Oh,
or
holy
something
shit.
like
Oh,
that.
dang.
So yeah.
Hello,
Okay.
welcome back, everyone who probably not many people, but
Yeah.
welcome back.
A few people I know watch the Vocaloid podcast, and we're gonna
shoot.
release them all in clips, so they still get no views, but hopefully they'll get less.
It'll be for
no
the
views.
internet historians, you know.
No.
Hello, internet historians.
Hi.
Hi.
One day there's gonna be someone in the far future in an anime history class that is citing this as
I
a
just-
source on their essay for
After,
their
like-
AP
Mhm.
anime exam.
After like
That's-
anime like becomes, after like anime like boys become real and like take over the world or something.
Cat Boys 101.
Yeah.
If I want that.
I mean, I wouldn't like Mafu Mafu is like a cat boy.
He is.
Like
Jesus
one of the
Christ.
first things
Oh,
you
no.
get.
Are
one
we
of the
are
first
we
things
getting
you-
into a new realm?
One of the first things you get after you search anime catboy on Google is you get Mafu Mafu.
Are you kidding? You're joking? Oh
No,
my
it's true.
god.
And I've seen a lot of people just like with Mafu Mafu profile pictures. Like cat Mafu
Nice,
Mafu
and they don't
profile.
know what it
And
is.
yeah, they just said like, oh, I searched anime catboy and this is what I found.
Well, I wonder how he feels about that.
And-
I'm sure it feels great.
And then there was this one VTuber. There was one ASMR like boyfriend VTuber or something like that.
Friend.
Like Catboy VTuber ASMR channel that I found that used Mafu Mafu
Interesting.
as the VTuber like model.
That's crazy.
I don't know.
That's
It
kind
was
of
so
funny.
weird.
It's actually kind of funny.
Yeah.
Mafu was too huge. Oh my god.
It must feel so weird to Google yourself on the internet after you like blow up and just like watch the chaos. Just
Anime cat boy.
Oh my god, I also saw these cosplayers cosplaying as Mafu Mafu and Soraru kissing.
Oh, okay. Okay, like here's the deal. I like cosplay sometimes, but like when you start like cosplaying ships with real people, I'm just
Yeah,
like
that's really.
that's
I don't know, I feel
weird.
really
that's
awkward
really
about that.
weird. But like I don't know. Like you know what? Whatever. Freedom of choice, but also if I was in the person's position, I would be weirded out slightly.
Have you seen all the fan fiction?
Oh,
I don't even want to look. I don't want to look that up, but
I
I
can't believe
trust
this.
it.
read a few.
I
Yeah.
can't believe this.
No, I'm not really into fan fiction. I was just interested in what people had to say about Mafu Mafu and Soraru.
I'm huge in
Whoa.
fan fiction, but I just don't really like read or write stuff that involves like real.
Yeah, that was a big thing like 10 years ago. I remember.
It was. Yeah.
Oh god, AO3.
AO3. It's a good platform.
I feel like
I'm an AO3 user.
I feel like a
sorry.
good 70% of it is 13-year-olds trying to simp over characters and writing terribly, and the other 30% is actually okay.
You should have been okay. Well, we're not gonna go into fan fiction because I can go on and on.
Another
Fan
podcast
fiction
episode.
episode.
Fan
Next
fiction.
episode.
Oh my
Fan
god,
fiction
fan
episode.
fiction is.
I won't be
Oh.
participating because I don't know everything.
I've been in the fan fiction for maybe too long.
Well, okay.
Yeah,
Thank you for watching Cap 7.
Yeah.
I don't know
Oh, yeah.
how. I
Thank
don't
you,
know,
everyone.
like.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a good